Okay, so what is this folk art dulcimer that I painted a couple days ago? This giant hole in my floor, which is being eaten up by fungus, as many of the floors in my house are. And this incredible double vinyl record that I just released. What do they have in common? Well, I'm about to tell you. See, the damage to my floors was so extensive that I had to hire professional contractors to fix them. And that ain't cheap. That room right there, $15,000 to repair. They're in this room here right now working away, or, well, I think they're working away. Sounds like they're having a party. Hey! Oh yeah, there they are. That hammering sound, that's the sound of my life savings flying out the window. Whoosh. There it goes. Hello, I'm Jim White, the world's worst businessman, and to prove that point beyond any shadow of a doubt, I'm here soliciting funds from you to pay for a record that I already released. Yep, this one right here, called Precious Bane. And as you can see, I didn't make it alone. I made this with my mysterious, enigmatic friend, Trey Blake. Now, I like to think of Trey as sort of the undiscovered Patti Smith of the UK. We became friends years ago, pen pals, it's kind of like, and I never really knew that she was such a visionary artist. She kind of kept it a secret. Finally, she sent me some of her songs, and they were astonishing. They were so good that even though I was working on another record, I dropped it and said, we have to make this record. The people have to know about Trey Blake and her incredible talents. And you know, it worked out pretty good aesthetically. We released the record, and Uncut Magazine gave it Americana Album of the Month. Mojo and all the UK press jumped on it and said, you know, it's an extraordinary, weird, interesting record. But we didn't really market it much in the US. So this crowdfunding campaign is sort of like a hello America, you should listen to this amazing record. So here's your chance. The first logical starting place is the digital download. So you can get Precious Bane, 5 of my songs, 5 of Trey's songs, for a nominal fee of $10. But if you really want to hear the backstory of it, you can get the actual tracks that Trey sent me, which, the interesting story, she recorded them with a guy that she just met at a coffee shop, and turns out it's Joe Watson from Stereolab, the keyboard player. She didn't know who Stereolab was and just thought he was like some guy that played in a bar band. And that's kind of the backstory of this record. It's just full of interesting twists and turns. And so we went ahead and printed a double vinyl record, which is expensive. So we printed it, and we have those copies. And so you can get, for $40, you get this, and you get the vinyl, double vinyl of the record. Or you can get, for this amount here, you can actually get 2 double vinyl records, My Drill a Hole in the Substrate and Tell Me What You See and Precious Bane. Drill a Hole has Static on the Radio and some other big famous songs on it. Or you can get my new book based on my experiences making the film Searching for the Wrong-Eyed Jesus. I kept a record and wrote these essays about all the crazy, weird shit that happened to us along the way. If you're looking for something more substantial, you can get my novel Incidental Contact. And anything that you get along here, you get the LP of Precious Bane and the download of Precious Bane. This book right here is just chronicles a bunch of magical, synchronistic stuff that's fairly unbelievable. Mojo magazine called the book Unputdownable and gave it 4 stars. Thank you, Mojo, for paying attention to us unknown artists. For the campaign, I made folk art paintings. This is from my Where You From series. I get these paintings at yard sales and flea markets of bad landscapes, and I write, "Where you from?" on it. When I'm not doing that, I make dogs and roosters. This is my crude dog here. This is like a junkyard dog made from a busted pallet that I found in a garbage pile. If that's a little too rough and ready for you, well, you can get yourself a very sophisticated plywood, good-to-go dog. I believe that is a dachshund if you're a dog lover. If you don't like dogs, you can get my Sin is a Rooster folk art creation there. I don't like roosters. They wake me up in the morning, so this is my revenge. I painted a bunch of funny faces on vinyl records, old hillbilly records, and then I framed them. This one here, I don't know if he's happy or sad, but some are happy, some are sad.
I painted a couple of folk art ukuleles. The one on the right doesn't have strings, but the other one does. Both of them are playable, and there's paintings on the back as well. Just something kind of unusual, like the dulcimer. You saw the dulcimer at the beginning. I don't think these are playable. The action is pretty high on them, but who knows? You might be able to make them sound right. They're more decorative, is my take on it. Of course, if you want something really functional, this thumper box here. I use these thumper boxes when I'm recording. I don't want to make that, like a Tom Waits kind of a sound. You put a microphone in through a little hole in there, and you go womp womp away. And it's good sound. This one does the same sound, and this one's a little bit lighter, the same thing. Thumper box light, less chains, less bells. I painted some coat racks because I like making functional art. The two on the outside I can ship in the US, of course, but the one in the middle you're just going to have to come to my house and pick it up. It's heavy and a little too cumbersome, if I can say cumbersome in a crowdfunding campaign. Now I'm Jim White, so you expect some weird exotica stuff. This right here in this can here is Jim White's Welcome to Mississippi Emergency Survival Kit. So basically what's inside of there is everything that you'll need if you find yourself in a tight corner in the great state of Mississippi. I collect Shriners shit. I think Shriners are really weird. They wear these crazy aprons and outfits when they're doing their rituals and ceremonies like that. There's an apron there, and that's a belt and that hat, and you can go out and stand in traffic with that plastic thing there and make yourself some money. That book right there is their secret codes. And of course, this is the all-important Shriner computer bag. This is about as esoteric as it gets. These are swan song items. My last headshot as a male model, and my last evidence of a wreck as a cab driver. I hit a double-decker bus and knocked that off it. This is Johnny Dowd ephemera. Now, see, David Byrne was the one who told me about Johnny Dowd. He called me on the phone and said, "Man, I got this cassette I need you to hear," and it's this cassette right here. I came down there and we sat and listened in stunned silence. It was an amazing, if you haven't heard Wrong Side of Memphis. So 6 years later, I'm at a flea market and I buy this painting that was really calling out to me. It was just very narrative and dramatic. And about 2 years later, Johnny released a record, and on the record, the title is That Your Wife on the Back of My Horse? So this to me seemed to be a sign that the painting and the cassette should go together, and the money, we'll split the money out for this one between me and Johnny, because he's part of the equation here. And for you completists who tend to go overboard with your enthusiasm and go into that semi-stalking territory, here's drawings that I did, original drawings. Let's see, what's that? Those are storyboards for a video, and that's a poster I made for South by Southwest. This is that's a drawing I made for a t-shirt for Drill a Hole era stuff. The book is Drill a Hole era production stuff that ended up getting a bunch of other weird stuff in it, like that's a football player named Jim White. The notes are chaotic as anything you'll ever encounter, and are a lovely window into my severe ADD mind. It jumps around a lot. I just decided maybe I should put some press photos in my production book. I don't know why those are in there. Why? More press photos. Okay. That's from, I gave that to Melanie Ciccone when she contacted me out of the blue and said, "I love your little cassette tape." That's my David Letterman parking pass. Some cool ephemera there. Cool ephemera, this is the actual sketches for the cover of Wrong Eye Jesus done by an artist named Jason Holley. There's only one of these in the world. It's got notes that I made in it, in the red ink there. So if you buy that, or you purchase that, it's you'll be the only one with it. Those are photographs from some French photographer during the Fla Festival in 1998, the first one. And that is, that's my Pushcart Prize nomination card. I won a literary prize for Incidental Contact. there's only 1,000 of these in the world, and I don't know that any of them are available commercially anymore. This is Give Me Five, and it's got the Genius song on it. It came out before Wrong Eye Jesus. It's got the Genius song, which is about a farmer who's digging up his farm to try to find Albert Einstein's brain so he can eat it and be as smart as Albert Einstein. That song did not make it on Wrong Eye Jesus. I don't know why. These are actual demo tapes that I sent to Lil Akabop along the way when we were doing our courtship. They kept asking for material, and I kept sending them stuff. They weren't sure. Eventually, I sent them this one here with the drawing on it, and I think that sealed the deal. So these two cassette players, or vintage cassette players with the original demos. You get one or the other, and you can hear exactly how it sounded like in my desperate little roach-infested hovel in the East Village where I lived when I was clinically depressed and suicidal and writing the songs on Wrong Eye Jesus. You never know where something will carry you. Look where I am 30 years now. Down the line, just having to do a little crowdfunding for a few moldy floors. I don't know why they send me these things. The record labels send me these test pressings of vinyl records, and I don't know what I never open them up. I never listen to them. I've got 5 of these. This is Waffles, Triangles, and Jesus. I will autograph it for you. And it comes, of course, with the LP of Precious Bane and the digital downloads. My friend Esteban gave me this, saying this would be a really great crowdfunding offer. It's a Japanese issue CD of Drill a Hole in That Substrate and Tell Me What You See. And I'm not sure that's something anybody wants, but if there's a Japanophile Jim White fan out there, well, here's your chance. It's got writing in Japanese on it, and I don't know what it says. But thanks, Esteban. These are 4 CDs. One of them, as the top left one, is me and David Byrne having a long rambling conversation, which they turned into a CD. Handcuffed to a Fence in Mississippi, single CD. That Oxford American has an alternate version of The Wound That Never Heals, produced by David Byrne, and he plays bass on it. This one here got Perfect Day to Chase Tornadoes, and look, I'm on the same compilation with Moby and Granddaddy. Now I have a lot of spare guitar straps, so I figured if someone's going to order the LP and the digital download, well, hell, I'll throw in a guitar strap for another $5. I'll autograph it if you want me to, and first come, first serve, first person gets the velvet one. This is I forgot to put this in the folk art section. This is good advice here, one step at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. This is original VHS tapes of Searching for the Wrong Eye Jesus. I don't even think this is the final cut. They were sending me things to view, like the digital downloads. This is the floor that I'm replacing with your kind contributions. I am the world's worst businessman. I did not plan for this setback, but I can do the crowdfund and get back to my creative endeavors with your help. So thank you everyone for listening and paying attention to all this crazy nonsense talk. I could not do what I do without you. I have 2 albums almost completed, another book, and other projects that are just bouncing around. So there might be more crowdfunding in the future, but for now, this is it. Thank you for your help, and take care, all you sweet people out there. Bye-bye.